Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. Early self-static, Shiraz and CBD. Blow up at a beam. Turn it up, let the vinyl spin. 10:30 sharp, where the stories begin. From the golden era, treasures within. Spin that back show every Saturday when we break it down, the legends and the lore. Every beat, every rhyme, uncover more. From Grandmaster Flash to Nas's Raw, we're bridging the past, hip-hop's core.
Okay. Check this out. It's Saturday, 10:30. It is April, or is it May? Actually, it's May.
That's how long it's been.
May 2026. It's been so long. And the Spin That Back show is back. Me and Mr. Nice Guy is here. And check this out. We appreciate y'all tuning in, checking this out here on the Spin That Back show on the Focus Up Network. So let me introduce myself once again. My name is El Pooh. This is my co-host, Mr. Nice Guy. We talk about hip hop from 79 to 99, the classic era. And we just vibe on, artists that we appreciate. Let's say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Today, we're going to talk about Kid and Play. Let me get them up there. Kid and Play. Where is Kid and Play? There they go. Hey, there you go. What we're talking about today. If y'all don't know who Kid and Play is, that was these dudes right here with the funny haircuts. You know what I'm saying? Today, that's what Q was talking about. I don't shake my butt. I leave that to the brothers with the funny haircuts. Yeah, that was these dudes right here. You know what I'm saying? They like to party and shake their butts. And I just want to say, I didn't really appreciate them too much. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't appreciate. I wasn't really too much of a Kid and Play fan. I ain't like that up-tempo music. And this is before Cube had said what he said. I just wasn't into these dudes because I wasn't really I'm not a dancer, so I couldn't dance. So wasn't no need of me listening to that music. I'm listening to bob your head type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta give him props, man. Kid and Play made an impact on hip hop, and we're gonna talk about it today. Mr. Nice Guy, what's going on with you, bro?
I'm chilling, happy to be back. That's Mr. Nice Guy. Nice isn't the word Saint spelled backwards. And yes, Kid and Play, I'm just telling you, I was a dancer, you know what I'm saying? I started out as a break dancer, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop to me has always been about dance and movement. And, I get it, the nodding and two-step and, there's all type of vibes and moods, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But I was definitely about that fast pace. I was about that fast pace when it was with the rhyming and stuff like that. When you're talking about Big Daddy Kane, but, Set It Off, you know what I'm saying? Just all of that stuff. So I love that. I embrace that. I had a high top fade, you know what I'm saying, back when I had hair, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, because I used to have an afro. Like in elementary, I was on some straight, Jackson 5 type stuff. But when I got to high school, that afro went straight up. So, I was about that culture. I respected it. I loved what they did. And at the end of the day, man, I want to rush into it. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Props to these dudes. These are like really good dudes. You know what I'm saying? Very funny dudes. And they contributed a lot to the culture. They did what they did musically, but what they did with the whole house party thing, you know what I'm saying? Just, that's just a great legendary accomplishment.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that and everything. Let's spin that back one time. Let's talk about where they began at, man, because if y'all saw the Salt and Pepper documentary and everything, y'all know that Kid and Play was back with them way back in them days. Started off with Herbie Lovebug and everything. And go ahead and give us a little history on them because you said they had a different name before they changed it to Kid and Play, right?
So yeah, well, first of all, let me just say that that's correct. Their connection. So you just think about this. They worked at Sears. I don't remember exactly what they did, but it was Salt and Pepper. It was Herbie Lovebug, and it was Martin Lawrence. And he was over there cracking up. He was that dude, you know what I'm saying, cracking up, whatever, and stuff like that. And it's just the fact that they all sort of popped and blew up and did what they did, you know what I'm saying, and arguably him the most, just doing what he did, you know what I'm saying, as far as just being a funny dude. I mean, that's pretty amazing, you know what I'm saying? So that connection was for real. But yeah, so let me pull up, let me see where my thing is about the I done lost my thing. I think they were called the Fresh Force Crew or something like that. Something like that. You're talking about 85, 86. And I remember that they were part of a compilation album. Herbie did a thing called Herbie's Machine. And they were actually part of a group called the Mau Mau Clan Overlords. So if you go check out, that house that Rap built, Herbie's Machine, that's where they introduced, Antoinette, you know what I'm saying? Salt and Pepper, they didn't introduce them, but I mean the bottom line is they had various people on there, but they had a group called the Super Lovers, but the Mau Mau Clan, they had a song called The House That Rap Built, which was the title of the actual album, and then it was also Rap as a Contact Sport. These are not very strong songs, but you can hear the template, you know what I'm saying, of what they would become, and you get that vibe. So that's the stuff. Hey, what's the first song that you recall ever hearing from Kid and Play?
That's a good one right there. It might have been Rolling with Kid and Play. Might have
been that. That's late. That's late in the game. The first song I heard was Last Night. Night was the first. Yeah, Last Night was their first single. You know what I'm saying? They first did, it was Last Night was the first single. Then it was Do This My Way. That was their first, like, I don't know if Last Night had a video, but Do This My Way, they had a video. And that's when they first sort of like introduced the kick step and stuff like that. So the bottom line is that was the beginning where you're really getting the flavor of Kid and Play.
So but the kick step, you're talking about this, right?
Exactly. Now the kick step, I mean, just think about it. That was a big hustle back in the day. You want an idea for a song, you're like, just create a dance. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like to bring a younger cat in, like Soulja Boy. His whole innings was doing that Soulja Boy dance. You're talking about another person from that circle, the Herbie Lovebug, Joe. Remember he had the song Say Joe and the Pee Wee Herman. Again, Pee Wee Herman. You come up with a dance that's just Bismarck's intro, the Bismarck dance. You know what I'm saying? But the Bismarck dance is probably the most popular New York East Coast hip hop dance like ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
hold on. What about the Dougie?
The Dougie has gone over. The Dougie has taken over like just the world. You know what I'm saying? But the Bismarck dance was the dance before then. Before everybody was doing, even though like Dougie was doing his dance, but people weren't really copying. In fact, when people were doing the Dougie, they weren't even making a connection to Dougie Fresh. They just was thinking that this was a dance called the Dougie. And he was like, no, bro, that's the dance. I'm the world's greatest entertainer. That's the dance I've been doing everywhere. But the Bismarck dance was a staple as far as what people would do in the hip hop clubs. Because, again, out on the West Coast, we were dancing to faster stuff. We were doing it with the trendy music, Dr. Dre, Surgery, It's Time, Hashim, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Planet Rock, the fastest, the Wrecking Crew. So Egyptian Lover, exactly. So we had to dance to the faster stuff. And, you kind of have to figure out a way to dance to the slower stuff, whereas the East Coast, they had that all worked out. And the Bismarck dance was, like the WAP, these were just big, sort of like East Coast slow tempo dances, you know what I'm saying, that were very popular. Ultimately, we all figured it out. And then, the South ended up taking over anyway, so everybody just ended up bouncing.
It's a big difference between them and Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane got on stage and he danced and everything, but Big Daddy Kane, when he started spitting fast, slow, whatever the case was, he had lyrics. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from Kid and Play, but they wasn't really like lyrical.
Not like that. Nobody was. Nobody. I mean, there's very few people. He's on my Rushmore. The Rushmore of my era is Big Daddy Kane, Kool G Rap, KRS-One, and Rakim. You know what I'm saying? I'll put like Cube there. That's really the era of where I came into. And obviously, I came into beforehand because otherwise I'd be putting L in there because LL was like the face of LL converted me. I was a person that was about rapping about the party, like Ice-T Reckless and stuff like that, having fun, my breakdance crew. This is what we rapping about, blah, blah, blah. I heard LL Cool J Dangerous, that my religion changed. It was about ripping people's heads off and just all this other stuff. I'm just telling you, Dangerous to this day gets my blood curdling. So, shout out to the GOAT, LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying? But back to Kid and Play.
I mean, you had other people that was out there dancing too, like Heavy D. Heavy D was a big old dude that can move and everything.
Yeah,
Kid and Play had their own little thing going on, and plus, Kid and Play was like the first rappers that I knew of that had their own little cartoon. They had a whole cartoon, Kid and Play cartoon.
And they played real hip hop music on that cartoon. I remember sitting there going like, wow, they're not even like bubble gumming it up. They're like really using like samples and, you know, Herbie Lovebug, you know, doing this. So they was doing some real stuff. And like in the House Party movies, they had Martin Lawrence because, you know, he's a personality as the DJ, but they have a real DJ, you know, DJ Wiz. And yeah, he was in the cartoon. So, you know, but yeah.
And he was big. These dudes was big respected too, because look at this picture. Let me see. I got a picture here. One of these pictures. Look, you got Tupac and Aaron Hall with a kid right there. You know what I'm saying? Even Tupac respected these cats. You know what I'm saying? So they was really somebody. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give them their props right there, because Tupac didn't mess with nobody that wasn't real.
now, even though Ice Cube ribbed him and talked what he talked about them, and he did that in person too, you know what I'm saying? He still had like mass respect for him, because I remember that kid was telling that story about like, you know, he's got a line in there, something like, you know, some is the recipe. So yo, man, don't even mess with me. We're getting funky, and that's like the whatever stuff like that. So then Ice Cube was like looking at kid like they're on a tour bus. He goes, "Don't even mess with me." You know what I'm saying? Because I think they would change it up and say, "Don't even f with me," or f, you know, like curse. Because you know, you kind of change up your lyrics for your live performance, and you kind of do stuff to get people more emotionally invested in it. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, kid would say, "Look, it was our clean image that allowed for you guys to even get out there, because the Pops was just waiting for NWA." You know what I'm saying? But they saw Kid and Play on the menu, and they were like, you know, they kind of let it slide. But you know, yeah, it's some funny stuff.
You can get a pass with somebody like Kid and Play because they was like really commercially accepted. So that was a good thing for them. So they made a lot of noise, and then when they made the House Party movie and everything, they actually blew up like that and everything. In fact, I was in House Party 2.
Really?
Yes, sir. I was actually.
No, that's what's up. Nah.
Sir, they was filming it right there at USC. Me and my boy had ditched and went up there, signed up for our little $150, whatever it was, and that little check. Hey, that was good money for us. We were still in high school. Hey,
oh man, 150 in high school.
Talking
about making it.
Yeah, that was big money back in them days. You know what I'm saying? When you like 17 years old, shoot, yeah, big money.
Now I'm just a little bit older than you, so I want to take it back a little bit before then, because I got a high school story. So I heard, you know, as a DJ, you know, rap, a lot of times the single would come out first before an album, you know, so that's just the nature of it. So you got these sort of like Last Night was a single, Do This My Way was a single, and then they dropped this song called Getting Funky. Now I'm telling you, I remember in high school, we had this like performance, like, you know, they had sort of like a little, I don't know, it was just sort of like a little platform. It was almost like a theater where you could see, you know, people be on a raised thing and you could go there. For the most part, Black people hung out in one area, white people hung out in one area, Asian people hung out in another area. So, you know, like white people would be sitting on the grass, and Black people, we ain't doing all that stuff. We basically just dominated the lunch tables and stuff like that, you know. But I remember we had a performance during the lunch thing, and I remember the sister Selena, shout out to my sister, and this other dude. They had a dance routine and they played Getting Funky. And I'm just telling you, that song took over. Like, I mean, it really was a dope ass song. And I mean, their dance routine, that literally routine, that performance, that both got them. They were nominated best dancers in the yearbook. You know what I'm saying? It all played out. But I'm just telling you that, go check out that video. I remember when they first opened up the hip hop museum in downtown Los Angeles, and we went in there. They literally had one of the my father took me in there, and one of the displays was literally just a video playing back and forth. It was just looping, and it was Getting Funky. Literally, the Getting Funky video was in the hip hop museum. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that these guys did that. That's a song that I think is great. I don't think it's good. I think it's great, and it gets my energy like up. So I mean, I love them for that. I love everything about that song.
All right, we'll spin that back one time. Hey, didn't they one of them dudes that designed the Salt and Pepper logo and everything?
I think you're right. I think Play might have done that. Now that you say that, I think he did do that. You know, they were creative. You know what I'm saying? And again, I do believe they were part of the my original understanding of the whole Fingerprints was that it was a collective of lyricists that were writing lyrics for like Salt and Pepper. Ultimately, now they're just saying it was Herbie. I don't know if he was doing all of that stuff. I know he wrote the first song. He was the beginning of Salt-N-Pepa. He was the one that was like, hey, you do this rap thing. But I'm gonna tell you this, Salt-N-Pepa is just dope, legendary. Those first two albums are hip hop masterpieces in my opinion. So I love them to death. But those cats, they did a lot of stuff to each other. Just even in the Tramp video, they always joke about it. That Play is the Tramp, and then when they talk about the guy with the high top fade, that's Kid. You know what I'm saying? So they network. They're like, look, you do your video, we'll dance in the background. You do your video, we'll dance in the background. So that was a tight network. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Herbie's his little circle. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to sound like, by saying little is whatever. It was, his collective was like a dope ass collective. I know that Marley Marl and them went after him with Duck Alert, but still, shout out to Herbie Love Bug.
Yeah, and we did a show on Herbie Love Bug a few months ago, maybe a year ago, maybe a couple of years ago, but we did something on Herbie. We got to give him his props, man. You had some super producers back in the days. You had Marley Marl, you had Herbie, and who else was there in those days?
Even right before then, you had Mantronix.
Yeah.
He was a masterful producer. I'm just thinking about what you say?
Paul C.
Yes, Paul C. Oh my goodness, Paul C. So yeah, Said G. You know what I'm saying? Said G was behind the Bridge Is Over and a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you go back look at his discography that he's connected with. You know what I'm saying? From Ultramagnetic. He's a part of some big projects. So he's definitely one of my favorite producers on name. So yeah, check this out. This is a great comment right here. That kick step dance changed the culture. It 100% did. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up.
You're damn right he did. Like I said, they had a cartoon. Then their cartoon came out, I think, in 1990. Was it? Yeah, it was 1990, September 1990. And then the next year they had a Hammerman. MC Hammer actually had a cartoon too. These are the only two rappers I remember having a cartoon. I don't think there was no Ice Cube cartoon. I know it wasn't no Easy cartoon. LL didn't have no cartoon. So that's innovative right there in itself. You know what I'm saying? Gotta give him props. And I think there was a rumor that Kid and Play was supposed to have been the original. Was they supposed to have been cast for the Fresh Prince? Was that them?
I think you said that, and I don't know, because I know that MC Shan says he was being courted for that. And he said the reason why he turned it down is because the dude that came up with the concept was basically trying to get at him, on some
Benny Medina.
Yeah. So he just was like, no, because Shan was actually, he was in an LA story with Steve Martin. And they were, Warner Brothers. So it was that whole connection. So he's like, I got an idea. And, obviously they probably would have called it the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was the beauty of it. It's like he had this whole concept of it, but, that dude's name, was literally the Fresh Prince. So, that was how they parlayed it. And he was perfect for it. I mean, it was a great vehicle for Will Smith. Honestly, I'm very proud of my generation of rappers that transitioned into acting and just became staples in it. When you talk about Will Smith, you talk about Queen Latifah. I mean, when you talk about Tupac, you talk about Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Mos Def. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Mos Def. That movie, Something from Nothing or Something the Lord Made. Go check that out. That's a great movie.
But he started off as an actor though before he was rapping. Actually,
who did?
Mos Def.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, I know that Drake did.
I know he was on, like a little show he was on or something. It didn't really last too long, but it was a little show that was on TV back in the days. This is before he made an album. So, he's really an actor. So
yeah, well, and the thing about it is, I mean, you say the same about Tupac. I mean, he was going to Juliet, you know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is, you're multidimensional. I mean, a lot of us grow up playing sports. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing acting, if you're doing singing, whatever, stuff like that. So you don't just sort of put yourself in one little corner. You have energy for all type of things. So, I respect that. But at the end of the day, Mos Def is really one of them dudes. He ain't just a guy that just happened to rap and had some little, no. He is like a freestyler. He's like a master rhymer, master dude with impeccable flavor of a style. So, shout out to Mos Def, Black Star, his group with Talib Kweli. He's one of my favorites. I love Mos Def.
Yeah, Mos Def is your favorite rapper's rapper.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
your favorite rappers, whatever the hell.
Yeah, you know, you said it right. You said it right.
Rappers,
He's your
favorite
favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Yeah, one of their favorites. So like, word to Scarface. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
back to Kid and Play.
yeah. Back to Kid and Play one more time. Let me.
And if you want to know about the kick step on their first album, Too Hype, they have a song called the Kid and Play Kick Step. That is a dope ass song because I don't know if they sampled it. I swear they had a real drummer playing that because I mean just the phonics of that song. Go check it out. Kid and Play Kick Step. It's on their first album. It is a dope ass song, but it sort of explains how they came up with the dance and how they describe it. So yeah, you know, it is their patented thing, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't really buy none of their albums. I got them now, but I don't even listen to them. But I know they only really had 2 good albums. That was that first one, which was Too Hype, and then they had the next one, 1990 Funhouse, and that probably had a couple of songs on here. Let me see what's on here that I remember.
Yeah, the only song I remember from Funhouse and like going back to him, that was the only one that I kind of
yeah, just the song Funhouse.
yeah, song Funhouse. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of that album, and I felt like, you know, even though I loved Herbie Lovebug, I just felt like, wow, he kind of did them dirty. These beats, these aren't quite up to his speed, but you know, you could just see that, like, again, I know that it's just a movie, so I don't know how true it is, but you just saw that his energy kind of changed as a producer. I mean, he was just about making money, and you know, he just, you know, he just I don't know. He might have backed away from just like really rolling up his sleeve and doing that sort of like patented dope ass Herbie Lovebug stuff because he did a song called Soul Power. They think they call it Solo Power on the album for us. The Salt and Pepper, the second song, it's a solo song with Pepper. And I'm just telling you, that beat, that is one of the dopest beats I've ever heard in my life. It is one of the greatest beats. Go check it out. Solo Power. I'm just telling you, the fact that he chopped that up and did all this, just go check it. This dude was the dude that was really about chopping up drum riffs. You know, a lot of people like Marley, you sample the kick, you sample the snare, and you create your whole thing. But he would snap on tat tat, you know what I'm saying, and would make beats with a whole bunch of sort of like drum riffs. So a lot of his stuff sounded very kind of drummy. But you go listen to Kid Play Kick Step. No, I think he brought it, like, he got a drummer in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it sounds like the JB's, like, really, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So go check it out.
Herbie Lovebug that doesn't get the props that he deserves, actually, because, you know, you talk about the Bomb Squad, you talk about all these other people. They kind of leave Herbie out to dry a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That man did some things, you know what I'm saying? Because Salt and Pepper wouldn't be Salt and Pepper if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, they created him. I mean, just think about that. He was the one that basically, he wrote that song, the Showstopper. That was their first song. Showstopper basically as a school project. It was some school project where he had to do it, and he basically convinced them to rap, and they weren't like really trying to do it, and he talked them into it, and they just had a natural talent to deliver. Because again, you can have the concept, you can be a person that's not thinking about rap, and someone's trying to get you to rap, like Eazy-E, but you know, you may have a propensity, a talent to tap in. I feel like they had to work and draw that out of Eazy-E. I almost got the impression that he really didn't have to work as much to draw that out of Salt and Pepper, because they really have great energy and cadence with their rapping. I mean, their voices sounded lovely. You know, when you go back and listen to, like, I mean, just in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? They really were good at what they're doing, and how they were doing the sort of like Run DMC Cold Crush routines of basically trading off, you know, the rhymes and stuff like that. Yeah. Man, what's that song? Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, from the Color soundtrack. Man, Herbie did some stuff.
Okay. I don't even know.
Yeah, go check it out. I'm just telling you, I can name some stuff. He's got some beats that to me deserve to be in the canon of greatest beats ever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let the rhythm hit him. They're using the meters. And again, like I said, he uses patterns of drums, so that he just uses like a bunch of riffs. So it's a different sound than just recording a kick and a snare and then doing your own things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it was his thing that was very unique, and it was dope.
Yes, sir. Let me say this though: what happened to Kid and Play after the House Party, you know, franchise kind of died down? You didn't hear no more albums from him. You saw him like I saw Kid probably pop up on a couple of shows here and
I
there.
know what happened.
You know what happened?
I know what happened. What happened? Well, first of all, they did three house parties. As I understand it, there were, they did the first 3 house parties, and then they also did Class Act, which that was the one they made a bunch of money off of. Because when they did the first house party, they weren't really, they basically had to take whatever you gave them, so they just got like a little bit of money. But by the time the next movie came around, now they're like kind of veterans in the game. We got a name, we got a brand. You know what I'm saying? So that's when they got their money. But Play became like, in the beginning, Play was kind of the bad boy and Kid was the good boy in real life. Basically, kind of how Class Act the movie is. You know what I'm saying? Play was getting in trouble, getting into fights, getting kicked out of school. I mean, that's what he was. And at some point, he became like a born again Christian. And he just was like, he was doing plays and stuff like that. So he moved out of it. That's why they broke up, because he just became a born again Christian, and he just was really dedicated to that. So he was doing plays, you know what I'm saying? But Kid, he was like, okay, well, I'm still got to figure out to do me. So I mean, he was doing like stuff at the Apollo. I mean, he was doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? But that's why you would see a Kid and you weren't really seeing Play, because Play was doing plays, no pun intended.
Right. Okay. Spin that back one time. And let me say one more thing too. I don't think I ever recall Kid and Play being featured on anybody else's records either. Do you?
Well, arguably that Mau Mau Clan Overlords, I was of the impression originally that it was more than just them two rapping on it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I agree. I don't think that I know that they said stuff like in Tramp, you definitely hear Play talking, because he's basically playing the tramp and a pimp, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. But you're right. I don't think there's ever been them featured. I mean, well, they did do a song with TLC for the house party, because remember TLC was their group Sex on the Sex is a Weapon or something like that. So they had a song called When I Say Something Makes Some Noise, You Say Noise. You say. So I think TLC was on that song. It's a good song, but yeah. So yeah.
Okay, I'll stand corrected. It wasn't really, nobody was really checking for him. Like, man, we gotta get Kid and Play on this track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus, you performing with them, you might get showed up.
And I want to give a shout out to Kid out there. He just got a whole new heart and everything. Didn't he get a heart transplant?
Yes,
like
that's some real type stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're getting older. Rest in peace, Brick Walls. He was on the list to get some organ transplants. He just couldn't make it, and that's how we lost that brother. But yeah, Kid, he made it. He got that, and he's doing well. I know people were clowning him because they were saying there's a video of them doing a dance and they were performing, and it wasn't a very good performance. And they were saying they ain't Kid and Play no more. They like old and work. You know what I'm saying? Or old and work. Yeah, that's what it was. Or adult and work, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, but he said, Kid was laughing about it. He goes, dude, we just did a whole bunch of shows and we were just tired and worn out by that point. So that's the one video that they have to put out there. But the bottom line is, they're still, performing and doing what they're doing. So, shout out to the OG legends, Kid and Play.
Sir, give a spin that Kid and Play. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I wasn't really checking for them, but they are legends in the game. I gotta give them that and everything. I wish they were still, making music like everybody else is trying to do these days.
Yeah. Shout out to the OGs.
It probably wouldn't go anywhere. It's like Hammer today. I wouldn't want to hear no new MC Hammer music.
I didn't want to hear no old MC Hammer.
I didn't want to hear. Terrible. It's like Hammer. Stick to stick to what you know. You know what I'm saying?
He's a great dancer. Very hip hop. I mean, again, like I said, hip hop came out of breakdancing. The break beats, all that stuff. The b-boy, the break boy. Dancing is a big part of hip hop's origins. And MC Hammer was a masculine master dancer. I can't give enough praise for that brother for that. And he was relatively a positive dude, even if he was like a gangster in real life. You know what I'm saying? He was a very positive dude, and I gotta support that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to MC Hammer.
A lot of people found out about his gangster too. Wrong, You know what I'm saying? Think he was soft because he was dancing and everything.
I'm glad we never fell out. I never glad we never because we used to joke about it. We used to say that when he went to death row and he's all dressed up, all all tough and urban and stuff like that. Me and Brick was this is just another sequence outfit for him. This is just a costume. I'm glad that we didn't like say that and be out there and dealing with the I mean, we would handle it, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, that brother didn't deserve to be disrespected. You know what I'm saying? He's a popular dude.
He more or less probably would have got handled. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I was a killer. You gonna have to kill me.
Same thing with Soul. When they came out with their first album, people thought they were soft, so they had to correct.
They had to put some pause on some people. Well, Mace was always one of them dudes. So Maceo was really like from Brooklyn, and something in the water. Brooklyn. You hear Brooklyn, you better be on. You ask Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just it be some issues and stuff, but hey man,
in the house.
Yeah, let's talk about House Party. Okay,
yeah.
So first of all, House Party, Robin Harris.
Oh yes, spin that back one time, Robin Harris.
Just a masterclass in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You had a bunch of comedians and stuff like that, but because even at the party, it wasn't like John Witherspoon was like the neighbor complaining. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember it was a Public Enema, Public whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that was that movie. Where that was the first House Party. But I mean, so he had some legendary comedians in there. But I mean, Robin Harris. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He said, I'm gonna whoop your ass till I'm tired. He said, and that's gonna be a long time because I just woke up. It's like the last part of that movie. He just whooping his ass. I mean, it's Robin Harris. The world was robbed of a dude that was just on the verge of blowing the hell up. He was about to take over comedy. I mean, that's just how big he was. And then he just tragically passed away. You know what I'm saying? Had a heart attack. And I mean, he was doing big things. He was the new big thing in comedy, and just tragedy. You know what I'm saying?
What's so sad about that, man? He had died before that movie even came out. You know what I'm saying? He never even got to see the premiere of the movie. So,
man, yeah, So yeah, so that was tough. But I'm just saying, the movie was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? I understand you got Full Force. They supposed to be high. Them with some grown ass, buff ass high school kids. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. That House Party is funny because when you think about like the OG sort of like hip hop movies, like originally, look, Wild Style is the template. But a lot of people didn't know about Wild Style, so I give people a fast pass for not knowing about it. It just wasn't in circulation on the West Coast like it was in the East Coast.
Right.
But we basically had the two big movies was Breaking and Beat Street. Yep. And you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's just like House Party was the next one because it was a hip hop movie. I mean, it was dancing, hip hop. It wasn't just dancing like break dancing, because break dancing is solo dancing. It's performance dancing. But this was like coordinated, like dance, like dancing with people dancing, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So it's just a little bit different. So I mean, you literally had a rap battle, you literally had a dance battle, you had comedy, you had dope ass music. I mean, you had Chill, that was like a knocking over the record and stuff. That was literally part of Groove Be Chill. Actually had Groove and Chill from Groove Be Chill. You know what I'm saying? Because Groove was the dude that was drunk. That they kept like there was whatever stuff like that. So I'm just saying that it was dope that they had this. And Groove Be Chill, they had some dope ass songs. Yeah. Google, it ain't nothing like hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? So I have mad respect for Chill. That's another dude who parlayed a rap career into a real acting career, because he was part of two long running TV shows. You know what I'm saying? On top of being in like a classic movie like Galaxy Quest. So shout out to Chill, even with his tragic accident that he had that crippled him. That dude's still putting in work in a wheelchair, like for real. So
okay, yeah, that man is props. Yes, sir. And Class Act was a good movie too. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? So hey, they did their thing, man. We got what we like to do, man, is give people their flowers, you know what I'm saying, to our, our hip hop legends from, like I said, from 79 to 99. And we need to touch on Kid and Play. So that's what we did today. So with that being said, anything else you want to say about these dudes in closing?
I also want to clarify the reason why we picked 79 to 99 is because we call it the recorded age. And the reason why we call it the recorded age, hip hop was created before 79, but you didn't have the first hip hop record that was largely considered to like 79. So that, us on the West Coast, we weren't able to go to the parks in the East Coast and participate, and see the Cold Cuts Brothers and stuff like that, the original OGs perform and stuff like that. So you basically, the OGs that you were getting was Melly Mel, Flash and the Furious Five, and, on vinyl. So 79, 20 years, the vinyl era. So that's why we call it the recorded era, and that's why we covered on Spin That Back. But shout out to everything that happened before the recorded era, because the pioneers, they did that in the park, and that's what all of this stuff is based on. But yes, that's pretty much it. At the end of the day, Kid and Play, honestly, they laid out that formula, because there was as they went to like House Party 3. There's a lot of comedians up in there that would become legendary comedians. It's kind of a template for like Friday, because Friday was basically, it was a vehicle where you basically now you have all these comedians that you're starting off, or maybe don't have as big as buzz before. But Friday turned a lot of comedians into household names. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's just like that you appreciate that was able to be done with House Party, because again, they had Martin Lawrence as the DJ in House Party 1. He was kind of like a minor figure. He took over the second one. He stole the show. And the second House Party 2, he stole the show. He was hilarious, and he was just basically laying a template for what he would be for the rest of his career. Because Martin is a legendary comedian. He was great on Def Comedy Jam, but just what he did on Martin, which is classic stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he had a few, really strong stand-ups as well. So,
And Robin Harris was supposed to have been doing Def Comedy Jam.
Man.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
That's just the pivot. That's just the pivot. That's the pivot.
Before we go, let's do a 5 minutes of funk. I got one thing I want to say.
5 minutes of funk.
Let's talk about some R&B or other genres of music that actually incorporated hip hop back in the day, like Blondie.
Oh, Blondie. I remember Fab Five Freddy saying, "I thought this was a joke." Like when he did, she's not like a joke, just like oh, she's tossing you a bone. Because Blondie really got involved with the hip hop scene, like the real hip hop. We're talking about the wild style hip hop scene. Fab Five Freddy, you know what I'm saying? And she's like name dropping folks in there, and she's like an established real artist at the time with hits. And she's basically doing this rap thing, this new thing, you know what I'm saying, that, relatively new as far as, the mainstream is considered. And it's a classic joint, because KRS-One basically uses that to step into a world, you know what I'm saying? And that song is a banger, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, shout out to Blondie, man. You want to talk about that?
Well, let me bring up one more. Who do you know made a regular record that had rapping after that?
I understand. You said a regular rapper and then rapper after
a regular record that had rapping.
Singing. A regular rapping that had rapping in it.
Had rapping that incorporated rapping into it.
Originally, who you got? Who you thinking about?
Do I Do? Stevie Wonder.
Technically, they call that Vincent Price part of Thriller a rap. It's a stretch, but if you look at the whatchamacallit, the how they have the lyrics and stuff like that, it literally says on Vincent rap, so like that. But I hear what you're saying.
So at the very end, I know the record's about the end, but we're just gonna play and play until it goes away. So if you don't like the groove, you turn your record off. And he was kind of rapping.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. That's that stuff. It's even like when you had like Genius and Love and stuff like that. There was. It was just, a lot of the funk and stuff that was like incorporating those elements and stuff like that. So yeah, there was a lot of people doing that stuff. But man, when you think about the influences that we've had from different locations and stuff like that, because in DC they had their go-go thing, and and Kid and Play In fact, Herbie was probably one of the biggest champions of it incorporating go-go into hip hop. You know, because
Oh,
plays go-go.
I was getting ready to say Herbie Hancock. He did do scratching and everything with Rocket.
Rocket, yep. And in the video, bum, 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 bum. Yeah, oh man, yeah, definitely. You know, man, and again, you know, because it's like I think about a lot of things. Because honestly, I mean, I even thinking about Shaka Khan. I Feel For You with Melly Mel. She basically redid that Prince song, and you know, that's a song that really emotionally gets me to this day. Like when I hear it, I get worked. I mean, I love that song. I love Melly Mel's style on it. I love the scratching on it. Honestly, I love the break-in, you know, Pup and Taco, you know, where they're doing all of this stuff, how they do it to the music. So I'm about to call him Shabba-Doo. I guess that is his real name. So Shabba-Doo, Boogaloo Shrimp, and Pop and Taco, you know what I'm saying, from Breaking the movie. And I mean, that is just, man, I love that song. So, you know, I loved it that they were coming around because it was a struggle. A lot of these people just didn't have respect. So shout out to Shaka Khan. Because I mean, she redid a song and then put that, and you didn't just put any rapper, you put Melly Mel. Yeah. Like one of the greatest. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, that's dope. So
one more person I want to bring up, because when everybody was kind of like shitting on rap and everything, this man embraced it. Quincy Jones. I just wanted to say that.
He did. I mean, you know, honestly, and not only that, if you take it a little bit further, there was sort of like a little bit of competition between like R&B wasn't really using like hip hop beats, but once hip hop like kind of started doing a thing, R&B just got like deep into the sample and all of this stuff. When you got like the New Jack Swing, you know, like Bobby Brown. I mean, like Bobby Brown was one of those first like singers to really embrace rapping and actually doing it at a quality level. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about like Mary J. Blige, I mean, they talk about the queen of hip hop soul. I mean, she's doing that beat. That song, her first song, Real Love, is over that Milk D beat, you know, that Daddy O beat. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like they really started to incorporate it, and they just never looked back once they started taking our drums. Because I distinctly remember, you know, R&B, which is using those basic drum machines and basic sort of like instruments. And then you got people like BBD were like, no, we need all that stuff. All that dope ass stuff that hip hop too. We're gonna do our singing, but we're gonna sing over what they doing. So, you know, it definitely happened at some point. And now it's just indistinguishable, you know.
Okay. Yes, sir. I was getting ready to say that Play was writing the rhymes for Bobby Brown, but that was actually Smooth B. So
Smooth B from Nice and Smooth. So yeah, that was covered in the Bobby Brown video. You know what I'm saying? And sorry, the Bobby Brown documentaries, because they did the New Edition document. They did the New Edition movie, and then they used the same actor for the Bobby Brown movie, but they definitely had Smooth B in there because he was a big part of it. He was writing those rhymes. And again, you know, at the end of the day, Bobby Brown was delivering those rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's one thing for someone to try to rap, but I'm just saying he actually pulled it off. And you know, yeah. So shout out to Bobby Brown.
Yeah, shout out to everybody else, and Kid and Play and Herbie Love Bug and all y'all out there for joining in and checking this out. We will be back, maybe not next week because I got a full schedule coming up. I don't know when the next time we're gonna do this. It will be this summer, that's for sure. So anyway, said, in that back show once again. Check us out on YouTube. It's my older episodes and everything. Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy, for the most part, popping up about the hip hop 79 right there. Appreciate y'all, and we are out of here.